differences of opinions in here, but I submit to you that the vast majority of Oklahomans believe in the sanctity of life. And leadership matters. The right person in office, that won't happen in the state of Oklahoma. The right person in the governor's office, we won't have corporate welfare programs for the rich and for the mighty and for the few. That's what we have today. Who am I? I'm someone with high hopes, someone with great expectations for you and for the entire state of Oklahoma. And as I told the group Saturday, if you truly want to know who I am, who is Randy Brogdon, I can sum it up in this one sentence. I'm a man of faith, I'm a dad, and I'm a husband. That's me. It's probably you, right? I am no different from you. I am not an off-the-shelf politician. I'm just not. If you're looking for the status quo, you're going to need to look somewhere else. But if you're wanting someone who will lead, take principled stands, someone who understands not only business, not only life issues, but who understands the Constitution, who understands the Declaration of Independence. You see, that's what has given us our freedom. The values, our founding principles that have been handed down generation after generation. Folks, it's in trouble today. Our freedom is in trouble. But I believe with everything within me, we can take our country back. I truly believe that. And we're going to take our country back state by state. You know, I've had the opportunity over the last 18 months, and I didn't really know why. This is what, Richard, I can tell you, I've been kind of wondering, and what in the world? I've been asked to speak around the nation. I've been coast to coast. And I've done probably by now hundreds of radio shows over the last 18 months. I'm a heating and air conditioning guy from Owasso, Oklahoma. What am I doing in Wisconsin? What am I doing in Long Beach? What am I doing in Salt Lake City? What am I doing in Amarillo? That's really what the heck am I doing down here? But you know what? You never know why you're going through what you're going through sometimes. Some stuff is good and some stuff is not so good. But I know now I was being prepared for this moment. No doubt. You don't scare me. Brad Henry doesn't scare me. The machine doesn't scare me. Because I know what I believe, I know why I believe it, and I can defend it based on the rule of law and my faith. With that, I'm going to pause and I'll take some questions. All right, thank you. Hey, Bob.
As governor, how would you enforce the 10th Amendment in the state of Oklahoma?
That is a great question. And for those of you that don't know, I was a Senate author along with Representative Charles Key, the House author on the 10th Amendment resolution, and it's on the governor's desk. It is on the governor's desk as we speak. I think he has until Monday to sign it, veto it, or let it lay. And if he lets it lay, Saturday. He has until Saturday. He didn't work Saturday, so. Oh, was that on tape? If my wife sees that, I'll get in trouble. I'm not supposed to say stuff like that.
We can edit it out.
Okay, thank you. And Bob, leadership matters. I'll say it again. I tell you what I'll do. I'll take a stand, and I will cut the ties with the federal government. Now, if that means Oklahoma taking care of Oklahoma business and not receiving mandated money from the feds that's unconstitutional, I'll stand in that gap. And I'll see if I can't force that. don't know how we have gotten to this point, I really don't, to where we think that the big daddy or sugar daddy, Uncle Sam, has just got to take care of everything.
I have a follow-up
Yes, go ahead.
Statement on that. How we got from yesterday to today simply comes from the what I call the government indoctrination centers, misnomered as public schools.
Yeah.
That's where it's come from.
That's where it's come from, you're right.
Plus, where the church has abdicated its responsibility to train up their own children instead of sending them to pagan schools.
Right. Very true.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to ask you, will you give some kind of, at least, voice to stopping the 500 biggest lies that they have put into our textbooks?
Yeah.
I know that's not the governor's job, but maybe as governor, your voice might have some effect on stopping that poisoning of our students.
I assure you, as governor, my voice will be heard loud and clear on a very consistent basis on constitutional issues. Just name one, and I will be standing in the gap for that. So, but you're right, and both your points are well taken. What's going on in our public school system today is troublesome at the very least. Yes, sir.
What would the governor's capacity or duty be in light of the House bill that was passed to control the illegal alien problem? In curtailing that, is there something? We obviously have a governor right now who's never met an illegal alien he doesn't like.
Yeah.
They're all amigos to him.
Right.
But how would your policy be different, or what do you see as the governor's responsibility in that?
We have some pretty good laws on the book. House Bill 1804 is what you're referring to, is a pretty good piece of legislation that, by and large, is being ignored around the state. Now, we happen to have a pretty good sheriff in the Tulsa County, Sheriff Stanley Glantz, and he's doing a great job enforcing House Bill 1804. But we have a weak government, a weak governor form of government. But what we do have in the governor's office is the bully pulpit. And not a John McCain fan at all, but I did like what he used to say. I'm going to make him famous. It's going to be my agenda. And now, let me explain what that means. My agenda is the people's agenda. It's not something I just made up. It's what the people are clamoring for today. Leave me alone. Give me freedom. Let it expand. Get out of my hip pocket. Get off of my back. Let me live my life. That's the people's agenda. I assure you that will be my agenda in the governor's office. Richard.
You've done a very good job, I would suggest, in communicating that you're a normal guy
Right.
with the kind of ideals and common sense of normal people. The race you're going to be facing in both the primary and presumably in the general is against people from the much more established political class.
Right.
While I can say that it looks like you would represent our ideals better, I think the question goes to what can you tell us that tells us you'll be more effective in that position than those from that political class?
That's a very good question and a fair question, and I'll tell you that as of today, Seth could probably give you an exact number, but I've just announced Saturday, right? Now, obviously, I had a couple of months leading up to that. We have right at, maybe even more than this now, 500 absolute bona fide, please let me help in your campaign. People ready to hit the ground right now. I have raised a substantial amount of money for me so far, and I haven't made one phone call. I haven't made one phone call. I sent out a letter, and I had some people, Brady, help me have a money bomb a couple of weeks ago. In one day, we raised over $17,000. $17,000. Now, it's probably going to be close to $1 million race on my part. I think. I'm not sure, but I know one thing. I know a couple things. I will not, and this is not a trite statement,